Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Vishumanjipudi, and I am glad that you are here. Today, we'll be solving problems 6 through 10 of the 2019 AMC 8. So, let's begin with the first problem, problem number 6. There are 81 grid points uniformly spaced in the square shown in the diagram below, including the points on the edges. Point P is in the center of the square. Given that point Q is randomly chosen among the other 80 points, what is the probability that the line PQ is the line of symmetry of the square? Well, let's first draw the lines of symmetry. So we have this line of symmetry, the vertical one. We have the horizontal line of symmetry. We have the top left to bottom right diagonal symmetry. And we have the bottom left to top right diagonal symmetry. So we know that we already have the point P, right? This is point P. And now we need to find a point Q such that PQ is on one of these lines. Well, we can just count the number of points on these lines, right? Because we know that probability is equal to number of successes divided by number of total. And here we're already given that total is 80. So all we need to do is count the number of points on the green segments, excluding P, and that would result in a number of successes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on top. That also means 1, 2, 3, 4 more on the bottom, so that's 4 plus 4 so far. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's yet another 4. And in total, they're going to be 8 fours, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just 4 times 8, which is equal to 32. Now we just take 32 over 80 to get 2/5. And looking back at those choices, we see that that is answer number C. And let's move on to problem number 7. Shauna takes 5 tests, each worth a maximum of 100 points. Her scores on the first 3 tests are 76, 94, and 87. In order to average 81 for all 5 tests, what is the lowest score she could earn on one of the other 2 tests? Now, we're going to solve this problem. And the key concept here is that if we want the lowest score, and we already have the average, the remaining scores must be as high as possible. So we already have that 3 of her scores are 76, 94, and 87. But we also have 2 blanks. And we want one of these blanks, for example, let's just say this blank, to be lowest possible score. However, to do that, since this is an average, we need this to balance out, and thus we want this one to be highest possible. And we already know that the highest possible score is 100, and thus we can compute the lowest possible score, which is going to be 81 times 5 minus 76 minus 94 minus 87 and then minus 100. And this expression results in 48, which is choice A. So now let's move on to the next problem. Problem number 8. Gilda has a bag of marbles. She gives 20% of them to her friend Pedro. Then Gilda gives 10% of what's left to another friend, Ebony. Finally, Gilda gives 25% of what is now left in the bag to her brother Jimmy. What percentage of her original bag of marbles does Gilda have left for herself? Now, for these kinds of questions, it's often much easier to convert into fractions. So, let's just say she starts out with 1, right? But then she gives 20% to Pedro. So that's equivalent to 1 minus 2 over 10 remaining, since she gives 2 over 10 of the marbles to Pedro. So she has 1 minus that much left. Now she gives 10% of what's left to another friend. So likewise, this is 1 minus 1 over 10, because 1 over 10 is the 10%, and the 1 is her remaining marbles. Now she gives 25% of what is left in the bag to Jimmy. So once again, we repeat the drill. We have 1 minus, in this case, 25% is 1/4, and now we can just multiply this all out and convert it to percentage. This is equal to 1 times 4/5 times 3/4 times 9 over 10. And now you can see that these 2 4s cancel, and we get a total of 27 over 50, And if you didn't know, you can just convert this fraction to a percent. So we just multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So you get 54 divided by 100, or 54%. Okay, and now looking back at the choices, we see that this is choice E. Now let's move on. Problem number 9. Alex and Felicia each have cats as pets. Alex buys cat food in cylindrical cans that are 6 cm in diameter and 12 centimeters high. Felicia buys cat food in cylindrical cans that are 12 centimeters in diameter and 6 centimeters high. What is the ratio of the volume of one of Alex's cans to the volume of one of Felicia's cans? Well, this problem is really simple if you just remember that the volume of a cylinder is equal to pi times the radius squared times the height. Now, here, since we're finding a ratio, it doesn't really matter if we use a radius or diameter, but let's just use a radius here. So here, for Alex, we know that air volume is equal to pi, right? Except diameter is 6, so radius is 3, so 3 squared, and then height is 12, which results in 108 pi. Alright, now let's check Felicia. So Felicia volume is equal to pi times, except now, instead of having 3 squared, it's 12 cm diameter, so that's 6 squared, and then it's 6 centimeters high, which is a 6. And this is going to be equal to 216 pi. And thus, the ratio of Alex to Felicia is going to be 108 pi over 216 pi, which is equal to 1/2, or 1 to 2. Alright, so checking out the choices, we see that this is choice B, and now we're ready to tackle the final problem. Problem number 10. The diagram shows the number of students at soccer practice each weekday during the last week. After computing the mean and median values, coach discovers that there were actually 21 participants on Wednesday. Which of the following statements describes the change of mean and median after this chain correction is made? So, we have to calculate the difference in mean and median. Now, it's a lot easier if we just calculate the median first, right? Because that's so much easier to compute than all the individual means. So, it starts at 16, right? But then, after he discovers that there are more participants, it gets bumped up all the way to 21. And you can see here that this does affect the mean. The median. Before, the median is equal to 20. But then, this Wednesday surpasses 20, as it becomes 21. So thus, we know that the median increases by 1. So, no, it's not A. We know that it is not C. And we know that it is not E. So now, all we have to do is find the change in mean. So, let's first compute the total number of students. So on Monday, we have 20. On Tuesday, we have 26. And now this is before, okay? Before. So, Tuesday is 26. Wednesday is 16, because this is before, not after. Thursday is 22. And Friday is 16. So, Friday is 16 as well. Now, the average of this is, well, we sum all of them. So, all of their sums is equal to, I believe, 100. So, before sum is 100, and then you divide that by 5 to get an average of 20. Now, afterwards, well, we have that W changes from 16 to 21, which means that the total sum changes from 100 to 105 divided by 5, which means that the average goes from 20 to 21. So that means that the mean also increases by 1, which means that our answer is choice B, and we are done. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as well as click the bell icon. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please post down below or email me at cmaspirations@gmail.com. Once again, this is Vishnu Manjipudi, signing off. Bye!